Well, hi. Welcome back to Glitter 50. So, I have my base done because we're going to be playing with Meet Me in the Underworld. Isn't that a beautiful color story? I have my base and my brows done and a little bit of bronzer on just so I have a little bit more dimension. Um, I love this color story, the grungy greens with this is like an orange and a little shimmery orange, and then some berry tones. This just, I love it. I love it. So, Euripides, your there's a story behind this, and I know the story. I've heard the story, but the names are a problem for me. Um, so today I'm gonna start with Myth, which is this one. Let me find the brush that I want to use. And of course, this is the Colourpop E14, 17. I'm just going to take this and start in my transition. So yesterday was Veterans Day, and I wanted to record this video yesterday, but I ended up just doing a whole bunch of crafts. So I didn't even leave the house. I didn't get dressed. I stayed in my pajamas and I just relaxed all day long. And it was super nice. So, as far as my crafting is concerned, I don't know if any of you have ever done anything like this, but so when I was growing up, we had this stuff called Shrink-a-Dink. And you color on the frosted side of it, and then you cut it out, and you put it in the oven, and it shrinks down. So small. Super, super, super small. And so I made some friends of mine know that I make jewelry, and they asked if I would make them turkey earrings. And of course, so I go online and I look on Amazon and I find these really cute turkeys, but they're all on back order. I was like, well, that's not going to work because they wouldn't come in until December. And I'm like, well, they want them now. They want them for this month. It's November, and they want them for, Thanksgiving. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, I could just use Shrink-a-Dink, and I could make them. So I did. I don't know if you can. They're in plastic bags, but that's what I ended up making. And it was so much fun. It took me about 3 hours. Because, I had to draw it, and my first drawing I was not thrilled with. And then I had to color it in, and, so it took me some time to do. But they really like them. I showed them, and they're going to buy them. So that made me really happy. And then there's a woman at work who just started working with us. I'm going to go into Melody, which is this orangey brown color. That's what it looks like to me anyway. So, anyway, she just started working with us this year, and I want to make sure that she feels welcome, and she's helped out a lot. She's doing some really nice things, so I know that one of the other ladies up front, she has a whole lot of decorations that she puts up on, she puts it up all over, but I just want the one girl, Jenna, to feel like she's included and she has something of her own to contribute. So I made her, it says thankful. All I did was paint it and add a few leaves here and there just to give it a little bit of color to it, so that, you know, she just has something of her own. I don't even know if she decorates like that type of stuff. I don't know her that well, but every time I see her, I smile and say hi and, you know, appreciate her. So, the one thing about doing my base makeup before I do my eyes that I worry about, I mean, it's a good thing, but a bad thing. I can go out further because I'm not as worried about covering it up. But am I going out too far is what I'm thinking. So I'm just blending this in, putting this out where I think it needs to go, and trying to think of what else I need to do, what else I want to do for this look that'll make it, because I've seen so many people use the grungy greens, and yes, I am definitely going to use them, and I definitely want to use them. It's what I'm drawn to in this palette, but I wanted to have a little bit more of an orangey base. I have orange in my pants, and so I want to bring that into. So now I'm going to go into Woodland, which is this color right here. I've just used the color switch, taking it off. Look at that color. It's so pretty. Tapping it off because I don't want a lot of fallout. I don't have any fallout on my face from these colors at all. None. So I really like that. I'm just going to push this and blend those colors together. I really like this grungy green. It's such a pretty color. And I'm just going to take that mostly in, but not all the way in. Isn't that pretty? And just blend the two together. I like doing things differently than what everybody else does. Everybody else that I've seen use this palette have used just the greens or just the berry. I've not seen a lot of people using the orangey color, so I wanted to be different because that's me. Just blending these together a little bit. Oh, I love that color. Alrighty, now I really want to use the green. But like I said, everybody uses the green. So I'm going to use Lyre, which is this one, which is an instrument, I believe. But look at that color. And we're going to put that right on the inner corner. And yes, I use my fingers. I know a lot of people don't like to use their fingers, but to me it just gives me more control over where it's going. Look at that color, it's so pretty. It just needs a little more blending. And then because I can't resist, I'm going to clean off that finger. Because I just can't resist it. I'm going to use the color Forest. I wanted to use Enchanted, but for this look I really just think that this will, see, it just has that grungy green look to it that I just am trying to go for. And then I'll take a little bit more of Lyre, blend the two together. See how they just blend? Maybe you can't see it as much, you can see a line, but they just really blend so nicely together. They overlap each other so nicely. So I'm going to go finish off the other eye, and then we'll come back and do the lower half. Okay, so I want to show you. So this eye I put on with my fingers, which I like the vibrancy of it, but it creases in my 51-year-old eyes. But this eye, I've used a brush and some setting spray, and it is smoother. It's not quite as vibrant, but it is smoother, which is something I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and use this fluffier, flatter brush, spraying it, and I'm going to show you the difference. So do you see how that smooths that out? Yes, I have an eye primer on. I have my Pretty Vulgar eye primer on, but I wasn't liking the wrinkles. I mean, I have them, so they're going to be there, but with the brush on me and this formula, I have to use a brush rather than my finger in order to get it to lay down the way I want it to without having the wrinkles show up so much. So with my finger, you can see all my fine lines, which I have them, so it's not that big of a deal, and I prefer to use my finger just because I feel like I can get more precise with it. But with this color, or with this formula, I have to concede that it looks better and it blends better with a brush, which is not that big of a deal. It just doesn't show up as vibrant, in my opinion, but it is still beautiful. So now I'm going to do the under eye. And for the under eye, I'm going to take my Lunar Beauty LBE4, which is kind of, it's a flat brush, but it's rounded. And I'm going to take the color Hades, which is this color. It's kind of a plummy brown. There it is. I'm just going to take this on the bottom. And line my lower lash. Not that it's going to stay, because me and lower lashes, lash lines don't stay. My eyes water, but I try. And then I'm going to take Euripides. I know I'm saying it wrong. I know I am. I just, because there's no D in it. But and there's no fallout from this shade, which is really nice. And I'm just going to blend it together with the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to go do the rest of my face, and I'll be back and give you my final thoughts. Alrighty, so I finished everything up. I used my House Labs eyeliner. I've used this so much I have worn away the color. I used my Thrives Cosmetics Legend Lash Extensions Mascara. I used the California, this is just a mini that I got. This is a blush that I used. And I used my Nomad and Sydney highlighter. And I put a little bit of the Enchanted on my inner corner, and then I used this highlighter and I put a little bit of that over the top of it. Now, what do I think of the Meet Me in the Underworld palette? This is a wonderful palette. It has a beautiful story to go with it. The color story is great. My honest opinion is I like the Colourpop formula better. I think it's, for my eyes and for my eyelids, it works better. It shows up better. These are pretty colors. They work really well. I just think that the shimmers in the Colourpop formula are better. Will I still use this palette? Am I glad I have this palette? Yes and yes. I really am happy I have the palette. Maybe if I use it a couple more times, I'll have a different opinion. First impression is I like the Colourpop formula better. But that's just my first impression. So give me a couple more tries of wearing this palette and I'll let you know if my opinion changes. So please like, share, subscribe, comment down below whether or not you like this video or not. And please remember, who's better than you? Nobody. Have a great day.